My guest today is a very talented, not just another teen singer, but she started out singing when she was 6 years old, 16 years old now. Having performed, she has the background, she has the skills, and she is Eaton, Victoria Eaton. And I want to welcome her in her beautiful red shoes, as you can see here. She loves shoes. And you're going to find out a lot about Rhea today. And we're going to have her singing live. We'll have some videos. And you're just going to sit back and we're going to find out what's going in the mind of this wonderful, beautiful 16-year-old that has come so far. People actually compare her to Jules and Christina Aguilera. Isn't that right?
Yep.
I mean, you write your own music that we'll get into as well, but that's a true artist. True artist. So it all began when you were 6 years old.
I was 6 years old, yep.
And by the time you were 11, we're just going to bump up a bit here, you were singing with Keith Lockhart
Yep.
for Boston Symphony
quite
Orchestra.
The experience.
Who does that?
Apparently me.
Apparently. You have done so much. You've done more in your lifetime so far than the average adult does. Tell us about that. Tell us everything we want to know.
Well, I remember when I was 6, my mom was a dancer her whole life, and so my sister, brother, and cousins were always part of my mom's dance studio that she had. And then I remember being a mini adult, I always made my own decisions, and I was like, I don't want to dance this year. I'm going to sing. I couldn't even read yet, so there was not that many vocal teachers that were willing to teach someone.
And now you're a vocal teacher yourself. Which
I do
we will
teach
also,
some lessons.
Yeah, which we'll also get into.
And so we found a lady that was willing to do it, and she was completely shocked that, I remember the first song I ever sang, I believe it was Tomorrow from Annie, because I knew every word to it, so I didn't have to read anything. And my mom was like, wow, it sounds nice with a piano behind it. And she was like, wait, she's never sang with a piano or an accompanist? And she was like, no, and she goes, she just followed that by herself without any help. Yeah.
It's a natural gift
yeah,
that
it
you
was
have.
no big deal to me, and she was like, that's really good. And I was like, is it really? Yay! So as a 6-year-old, I thought that was like such a great accomplishment. But then when I got my first part when I was 7 years old in Annie, I played Tessie. I auditioned for Annie, obviously, because everyone auditions for Annie, even if they don't think that they're gonna get it, they just audition for it because it's always a chance. And from that, the first part I ever did was just like extras in Wizard of Oz with the same theater company, and then I did Annie, and then after that I was Oliver Twist. I played a boy. I've played a boy twice, I think. But
Peter Pan?
No, I was in Sam I Am, the Green Eggs and Ham. I was Sam. And I just started doing productions, and I just kept getting, like, main roles. And my mom was like, this is really working. And, like, my family was all really supportive of it. And I was like, I love this. This is what I want. And so from then on, I remember the first time I ever went to the recording studio was with my first vocal coach. Wanted us to do this little thing, which she gathered a group of her best students, and we all went in and recorded this thing about the alphabet. And it was the first time I ever was in a legitimate recording studio. Like, I'd seen it on TV, and I'd be like, that's where I want to be. That's where I'm going to be. And I honestly thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like, I was having so much fun, and then I just kept going. Like, I just kept doing it.
Well, you're an accomplished musician, and accomplished musicians write their own music. You play an instrument, the guitar, for example,
Right.
and you write your own music, but you also do other people's music as well, and you choose those songs because it's a message that you
Right.
feel that you feel close to, right?
Right, yeah.
So what I'd like to do is show one of those with you singing Skyscraper,
Yep.
right? So why don't we see that right now, and we'll enjoy this.
Watching, catching teardrops in my hands. Only silence as it's ended. can take everything I have. You can break everything I am, like a made of glass, like a made of paper. Go on and try to tear me down. I will be rising from the ground like a skyscraper, like a skyscraper. As the smoke clears, I am wakened, and I'm saying, go you from me. Would it make you feel better to watch me while I bleed? All the windows still broken, but I'm standing on my feet. You can take everything I have. You can break everything I am, like I'm made of glass, like I'm made of paper. Go on and try to tear me down. I will be rising.
So Rhea, how do you feel when you're watching yourself?
I hate watching myself sing live.
I mean, because I was watching you, and it seems like you're maybe questioning yourself a little bit.
It's not that I question myself, and I'm sure every performer thinks this. I can listen to my vocal performances from recording sessions and be like, that's awesome. Can't believe that's me. But when I listen to myself live, I'm like, I should have done this way.
So you're being critical.
Honestly, I don't even think it's that I'm being critical of myself. It's just that, like, I get, like, next time I sing that, I will do it this way. I will do it this way. So,
And
like,
do you?
I try to remember, because I never remember what I say, but then I realize at the end of the day, like, wasn't half bad.
Trust me, that was unbelievable. It really was. What I'd like to do is talk again about Keith Lockhart. I brought that up just for a second before. What was that experience like for you?
It was actually kind of insane. I remember my mom called me upstairs and was like, you have a really big performance opportunity, because my first agents that I ever got had gotten me, they were located in New York, so it was harder for them to find performances in Boston. Because Boston,
here, that's huge.
Boston's kind of like, as big as it was, the performance for like a solo performer is kind of dead unless you have like, unless you're like already like Britney Spears. So my mom called me. She's like, "You have a really big performance," and she said, "Keith Lockhart."
Momager.
My momager. Well, she's my momager. But she called me up the stairs and was like, "You have a wonderful opportunity." I was like, "Oh yeah, what?" And she goes, "To perform with the Symphony Hall Orchestra, and you're going to perform at the hall with Keith Lockhart." And I was like, "Why are you saying this so casual? Like, that's a really big deal." And she was like, "Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker sang there last week." And I was like, "Excuse me?" Like, what? And so I was like, this is awesome.
And that was age 11. You were 11
I was 11,
years
and
old.
I was like,
11
what?
years old. And this is what Keith said. Keith Lockhart said, "Rhea has it all, a voice and just enough attitude to know she belongs on stage." Keith Lockhart said that.
Keith Lockhart said that. But he was very nice. He was awesome, and I got to meet his son, who was also adorable. But
Are your friends jealous? Are they envious?
I've had trouble in the past with some past friends, but like always say, I always get made fun of for saying this, and they say, everyone says it's so bad of you to say that, but I call them the unnecessary friends. And it means if they're not supportive of what I do, then I have no reason to have them in my life.
Because a quality friend would
be supportive of everything I do. I have one friend that to this day, I don't see her as much anymore, but to this day still texts me and says, "Tell me when your next show is. Me and my mom would love to go." Like, even her mother is supportive of it. Like, you don't get that often.
No, you don't.
You don't.
So then, do you help any of your friends that say, maybe they have the bug or they're watching you and they feel talented too? Do you?
I definitely tell them, if you ever need help with your singing, if you ever want anything like it, because they always ask me, like, would you help? Definitely. Like, I'm not gonna not help out my friend, or anyone for that matter. Like, I have a friend that wants me to help her play guitar, and I honestly don't even know her that well, but she was like, I could pay you, and I was like, I don't need money. I was like, I'd just be happy to help.
And you're also doing some voice. You're a vocal teacher with some people that.
I actually am starting vocal lessons with some kids soon, and it's really exciting.
And that's just a whole career just on its own
Yeah.
at 16.
Yeah.
I might add.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You're also known, this is a saying from your website, that your passion is through music and you touch people through song.
I was told that I was told once by a fan that they love my song, Look What You've Done, and they were like, it describes me and my boyfriend perfectly, well, my ex-boyfriend now, and I'm like, really? Like, that's awesome. Like, I've always wanted to be the person that people, like, when you listen to a song when you're in a certain mood and you're like, thank God for this song.
Exactly.
I want to be that person.
And is that why you pick some of the songs that you sing,
Sometimes, yes. Like, sometimes there'll be a song that I listen to when I'm in a mood, and I'll be like, I'm going to cover this song because I appreciate what this person has done.
Like Adele, our
Right.
next song that we're going to show right now. So why don't we show that clip right now?
There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go and tell me out and I'll lay your shit bare. See how I leave with every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that I will do. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch and it's bringing me out the dark.
Wow, Adele is unbelievable.
Adele's
Yeah.
insanely good. She's amazing.
You did an insanely incredible job there
Thank
too.
you.
I only sing in my car, so I could never sing in front of people like
I'm
you
sure
do.
you could.
No, I'll stay in my car, according to my daughter, anyway. So, I wanted to ask you also if you've ever tried out for American Idol or the X Factor or wanted to.
I did. There was a point where I wanted to audition for American Idol for quite a while. I was like, when I turn the age, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and they're going to make me famous. And then I went through the phase that I was like, I can get famous on my own and be proud of my own accomplishments, or I can let Simon Cowell do it. Or I can...
And that's risky, you think, too,
Right.
a little
Simon
bit.
Cowell can make or break you. I love Simon Cowell. I think he is awesome, very opinionated, but so is everyone else. I think that there is definitely the whole satisfaction of doing it yourself and being pleased with your own, your own accomplishments. And I always said I can either not become famous and be pleased with all the hard work that I put in it and call it a day. Become famous by myself, or be an overnight sensation because of American Idol.
Well, you're still so young
I am.
and have accomplished so much that you're mini adult, as you've even referred to yourself as. You're beyond your years. You really are. So, speaking of that, Michael Jackson also, claims that he lost his childhood. He used to talk
Right.
about that all the time, and that he was really reliving his childhood. Didn't want to give it up.
Right.
So how are you dealing with that? Because you're being homeschooled.
Right. Yeah.
So tell us about all of that.
I honestly don't feel like I'm being taken out of my childhood. There was actually one point where there'll be things that I miss, which is fine. I can miss a few things here and there. It's not going to be the end of it. there are a few things that I missed musically that I could have had a really good option. I remember I was supposed to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show when I was younger,
Wow.
and I decided that I was going to go to a sleepover, and I got strep, so I couldn't go. And so things like that, I need to sacrifice. But in the end, it is so worth the sacrifice because when I'm on stage, I feel like a completely different person. And it's so worth it.
How do you feel when you're on stage as a different person?
I feel like, I just feel awesome. Like, everyone has their own personal bubble. My bubble is on the stage. And, like, I don't care, like, no one can bother me when I'm up there. Like, it's just it's like a home. It's a second home to me.
It's what you're supposed to be doing.
I love it so much.
You're living your dream at such an early age, too. I mean, and it's funny because you probably don't feel that young, you know, but by the time you're twice your age now, you will have accomplished so much. But speaking of that, where do you see yourself?
I would like to see myself as someone who has released many CDs, hopefully.
Oh, actually, you have a surprise.
I do have a surprise. I have a single that we're supposed to be releasing. It's supposed to come out tonight. And I'm really excited about it because it's a really awesome song. It's a really awesome song. And I was actually listening to it in the car because we got like the final version of it with all the vocals on it and everything. And I was like, yes. So I was listening to it in the car because I was like, these computer speakers aren't working for me. I was like, I need real speakers. So I put them in the car and I was like, that's me. That's awesome.
Well, that's how you should feel when you're releasing a single.
And
like that.
I'm really excited about it. I can tell you the name of the single. It's called Once Upon a Time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait, and thank you for sharing that with us. What we're going to do now is actually hear you perform 2 songs. So we're going to hear Over the Rainbow for one of them, and then Mama Do. So let's go set up and hear your songs, and then come back. And
Okay. Somewhere over the rainbow way, up high in the land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow skies are blue and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles they melt like lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me.
Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, yeah. Where troubles they melt like lemon drops, way above the chimney tops. That's where you find me. Somewhere over the rainbow. Skies are blue and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. If happy little bluebirds fly above the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Every night I go sneaking out the door. I lie a little more, baby, I'm a helpless. There's something about the night and the weed hides all the things I like. Little black butterfly deep inside me. What would my mama do? Oh, she knew about me and you. What would my daddy say? Feet saw me hurt this way. Why should I feel ashamed? Feeling guilty at the mention of your name. Here we are again. It's nearly perfect. What would my mama do? She knew about me and you. What would my daddy say? He saw me hurt this way. What would my mama do? What would my daddy say? Yeah. All the things a girl should know are the things she can't control. All the things a girl should know that she can't control. What would my mama do? She knew about me and you. What would my daddy say? He saw me hurt.
that was unbelievable.
Thank you so much.
You are incredible. I mean, you're definitely going some places.
Thank
and
you.
I'm so honored that you're here on the set and, sharing this with everyone. And everyone can also get in touch with you if they need you as a vocal teacher or just
Through my
want to
momager.
through your momager or just to even see your website. And we were posting some of your email and things in your website as well, so they can. So those are just really incredible. How did you
Thank you.
feel?
I felt awesome. I mean, I love singing, as you obviously know. Every time I perform, I just feel like a completely different person. Like I said before, it's so much fun. There's nothing like it.
So, you're actually sacrificing a lot of different things, but by homeschooling, you're actually bringing out more, giving yourself more time.
Yeah.
Tell us about why you're homeschooling, and you've been doing this for about a year.
Actually, just this year, we just started it in September, and it's at the beginning of September. It's been awesome so far. I like it. I get to pick all of my courses.
It's not your mom, like
No,
a
it's
lot
all,
of homeschooling.
it's all,
people
you
think
can either
that-
do online courses with the school, it's Keystone National High School, and you can either do them through online or correspondence. I chose correspondence. It's an awful lot of reading, but it's so worth it because it's actually like being put into my head rather than spit out at me. Like when I'm physically reading it, I'm sure everyone feels this way. It's in my head. But when a teacher's talking to you, do you want to listen? No.
So you're feeling like a lot of time was wasted in a classroom.
Definitely.
And for you, you want to speed things up and you want it
Oh, yeah.
condensed and not wasting a lot of time.
Yeah. I still get the physical diploma in my hand. They'll mail it to me, and it's still all the same. The only thing I'm not going to do is walk on graduation, which I think I'll be okay.
And now you don't see your friends in school.
No, but I can
you
definitely see
your
them
your
whenever.
friends. You still have the same friends.
Yeah.
Because you've gone to school all this time. And it's really 2 years. That's what
It's really,
you'll be doing.
this is my junior year and my senior year.
Yeah, and I mean, you've had a lot of school.
I have.
So it's like you have other things that you have to do. I mean, a lot of actors have their kids with them traveling.
Right.
And they're
Like, there'll be
seeing
times where I
school.
don't come home till 2, 3 in the morning, and I don't want to wake up for school the next day.
Right.
So I'll either go into school late or I'll miss the day.
Right.
But I still get an absence. And I always use all of them. And so there'll be times where I'm like deathly sick, moping around school saying, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. I want my bed. I want my mommy.
So that's a hard thing to do as far as making sure you do it and
Right.
setting it. Do you set a schedule that makes yourself commit to it?
To do the homeschooling. Basically, I make sure there'll be days where I just don't want to, which is fine because that's the way it works. But there'll be days where I do 4 hours, which they recommend don't do over 3, but I do it anyways. There'll be days where I do a full 4 hours. There'll be days where I do an hour. There'll be days, it fluctuates. And like, sometimes I'll do psychology. Sometimes I'll do math. Sometimes I'll do my creative writing. And I just throw it all in, like, depending on what I want to do. And I'll do a little bit of each some days. Some days I'll just do just one.
So you're achieving a lot.
Yeah.
Also, it gives you that opportunity to do more
To
music.
do what I want to do.
Right. That's incredible. We have some pictures that I want to show. I
Okay.
definitely don't want to end the show yet before seeing these. So if we could just see a couple pictures and then you can explain some of these
Okay.
for us. Now that's you singing.
At Lowell Spinners, I was singing God Bless America.
Okay. And our next one. Now, people don't have an opportunity to do that very often either.
This was at Raw Artists Showcase in Boston at the Guilt Nightclub in Boston, which used to be the Roxy. And that was actually a couple weeks ago. And they took a bunch of pictures, and I sang. I had a 30-minute set, and it was absolutely so much fun.
That's excellent.
That is Billy Inkslinger's T-shirt that says Team Rhea Music, and then it has my website on it. Billy Inkslinger made that. Billy Inkslinger's a tattoo artist. Get your tattoos done.
Yes, he is. We love Billy.
Billy's awesome. He made those. That was for a benefit concert I did this summer for Bella Tucker. She survived meningitis, streptococcus meningitis. It was eating at her muscle, so she had to get all 4 limbs amputated, and she is absolutely gorgeous, and I love her.
Mrs. Massachusetts, Jane Marshall, who was on our show as well, she was there. Do you know her? She also was there with her with that same benefit.
This was also the benefit. I put it together. It was so much fun. That's the flyer for the concert. I made this. This was everything. Everything on it are the performers, and then the time and the...
This is an accomplishment just in itself. You're 16.
I put
That's
this all together.
amazing.
I had so much fun putting this together. Billy made this.
Billboard.
Billy made this. This is our...
You're on a billboard.
I wish.
Billy made it.
Billy made it. Billy's crazy. We love Billy.
I
And
thought that was funny.
yeah, this was a couple years back. This was one of a photo shoot. You can see my pink hair. I went through a phase where I wanted to have pink hair. I had the black underneath for a while too. Those were taken in New York in a clock tower.
Wow. You get around.
Yeah. That was at Studio 99. I believe it's in New Hampshire. And that was actually taken by Billy.
Your bodyguard. Your
My
future
bodyguard. That was at the Bella Benefit. That was, I think I was performing Keep Holding On by Avril Lavigne. I dedicated that song to Bella.
Wow.
That's also at the Side Cafe. I don't know what I was singing, but that was a really fun show. That was, I think, back in April.
Looks like you're belting one out.
Oh, I probably was. That was at the Best Buy Center in Boston for, not really sure what that one was for, but it was a lot of fun. I remember that. This was actually taken right in Boston. My cousin took those pictures. We were having a family outing, and I was like, take some pictures.
Well, I hope you, and I'm sure you have inspired people today. You've inspired so many kids, even adults can be inspired by you. Because if you want to live your dream, you should. You're living proof of that. And don't ever forget that.
Thank you.
Don't ever forget it. So, is there some message that you'd like to share before we go?
Never, ever give up on your dreams. Ever. Ever, 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 because you never know what could happen. There's always a chance.
Yeah. So if you, you'll post your single on your website also so people can see your other videos.
Right.
You're all over YouTube as well, but they can go to your website
Yep.
and they can see more of you. And to get in touch with Rhea. And thank you so much for joining us on the set.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And that's a wrap.
You didn't have to say a word. Your silence never goes unheard. Was there something that I missed? Somewhere you lost me.